Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope your afternoon. I hope your Thursday. I hope your Thursday is going well. It is Thursday afternoon here in the A. Again, it is Thursday afternoon here in the A, guys. Sorry about the delay. I had some things come up, some business I had to take care of. So I know we started the show. I apologize about starting the show a little bit later. Ayana, I finally went to the doctor. I have bronchitis. Yeah, make sure you take those antibiotics. I've had bronchitis before as well. So peace to everyone. Peace to everyone in the chat. Love seeing you guys in the chat. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for the support. It really means a lot. I want to start off with this. And I was reading a comment today. Somebody saying that they're going to unsubscribe. And, I was reading a comment today. And then I was talking to a friend today, a friend earlier today, not too long ago. And, what we have to understand is people aren't going to agree on everything. People are going to have a difference in thought. I have Pastor Pimp video went viral. Who's Pastor Pimp? Oh, you're talking about here in Atlanta. What's his name? I can't. I forgot his name. I know you're talking about Jamal Bryant. Yeah. We covered that yesterday. Ayana, I appreciate it. Thank you. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Listen, man, people are going to have a difference in thought. People aren't going to agree on everything. I have friends from all walks of life. And trust me, we do not agree 100%. We do not agree on everything 100%. We have our disagreements. We all come from different walks of life. But Jamal preached that thing or whatever. But in that, I appreciate diversity in thought. Because some of the people that I've learned the most from, we necessarily didn't agree on everything. I didn't necessarily disagree with everything that, I didn't agree with everything that they thought or their train of thought or their beliefs. I didn't agree with everything, but we cool to this day. And I like to express how I feel. I know a lot of people, and guys, listen, this started from when I was working in corporate America. Again, this started from when I was working in corporate America, and I started to travel to Africa. And I have friends that said, "Hey, Dynast, listen." Or I used to travel to Africa and document it and put it on YouTube. And people used to say, "Dynast, man, you might want to go under a pseudonym so people don't know who you are. Because what's going to happen if your job finds out that you have a YouTube page?" And I've never been that type of guy. I'm very unapologetic in my thoughts and beliefs, but I'm apologetic if I'm wrong. So if I say something that's wrong, you call me out, Dynast, that was wrong, that was incorrect. You misstated the facts here, there, and the other. I have no problem saying, you know what, I apologize. But we need more voices. We need more diverse thoughts. I think that's important. You see what they're doing to Kyrie Irving right now. So they are Kyrie Irving, I guess, decided to donate $500,000 to the ADL over a documentary that he watched and retweeted that's on Amazon. Again, Kyrie Irving, who retweeted a documentary that is on Amazon, they beat him down. They crucified him. I said sacrifice. They crucified him. He's being crucified right now. He's being embarrassed. And so the people who they put in front of us, who are chosen to put in front of us, they are censored. They are told what to say, what to do. That is why when Pastor Bryant made his statement, his comments about Herschel Walker and his relationship to white folks, I'm like, listen, what makes you any different? What makes you any different? Like, seriously, what makes you any different, Jamal Bryant? Because the minute you speak about a certain group of white folks, boy, they reel you in and they crucify you. And literally, Kyrie Irving is being crucified. For retweeting a documentary that is on Amazon. It's sad that's where we're at. So, guys, do me a favor, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share. Make sure you hit that share button. I will greatly appreciate it. Again, I will greatly appreciate it. I love you guys. It was white liberals jumping up and down the most during the Pastor Pimp talk. Guys, I want to show you. Hold on, let me show this to you real quick. Hold on one second. Kyrie committed a thought crime just like Ye. It's 1984 social credit system time. Hold on, somebody sent this to me today. Let me see if I could hide their number though. Hold on one second. I mean, this is for real, and I might offend some folks, but this right here sums it up. That's who's crucifying Kyrie Irving right now. And Ye, right here. Whenever you disagree with him, and it's just not Democrat. It's just not black people who do not vote Democrat. Black people who get out of line, period. Black people who get out of line, period. You see that? That's what they do to you. And so they're cracking the whip now on Kyrie Irving. And along with you see this black guy right here that's watching? All the other black folks that are on TV crucifying Kyrie Irving. That's them right there in the back watching. I mean, that's what it is. I noticed it, and it's sad. But that's what they do. If you disagree with them at all, it's not those rednecks, as they claim, that come after you the hardest. It's the liberals. Thank you, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith. I mean, all of them. They are all attacking Kyrie Irving just for retweeting your history. And now I might not completely agree with the, we're black, we're Hebrew Israelites, we're Jews. I might not agree with it, me personally, but there might be some truth to it. And they present a very strong case. I'll say that. Again, I might not necessarily agree with all of it, but they present a very strong case. And the documentary is actually on Amazon. Nah, Kyrie didn't stand his ground. He was apologizing, and he has agreed to donate $500,000 to the ADL. And I think the owner of the Nets is going to do the same thing. But listen, if I make a rap CD, talk about, how many people I killed, Amazon Prime, I'm sorry. Yeah, the documentary's on Amazon Prime. How many people I killed, how much dope I sold, how much crack I sold, how I used to pull up on the block and spray the block, to the ADL. Hold on, let me pull it up. Hold on, let me pull this up. Hold on, let me pull this up. I used to sell dope to my mama. I used to cook dope in my mama's house. My grandma's house. I used to cook all the dope in my grandma's house. All the dope used to get cooked in my grandma's house, y'all. That dope was cooking. I turned that soft into hard. All that stuff, man. Listen, they won't say nothing. Kyrie Irving joining Nets ADL and $1 million pledge to fight hate. I take responsibility. I mean, you can't make this up. Kyrie Irving pledged to donate $500,000 to fighting hate and issued a joint statement with the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, taking responsibility for his social media posts, but did not directly apologize for retweeting a link to a film filled with anti-Semitic rhetoric last week. Guys, let's see here. The film Irving promoted, called Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, included a fabricated quote from Adolf Hitler. I know the quote they're talking about as far as who's the real Jews. I know what quote they're talking about. Lists the Holocaust among falsehoods perpetuated by Jewish people and says the Jews control the media. Irving has also retweeted conspiracist Alex Jones in action he defended at a press conference where he said Jones is right about the New World Order, a conspiracy generally connected with anti-Semitism. I think what I think would have been what I think would have been a great idea? How about both sides come together watch the film, and have a group discussion on the film. Irvin played in 3 games since retweeting the film link, including Saturday, after which he held a press conference defending himself. The statement does not include any mention of discipline from the NBA or the Nets. Irving did not speak to reporters after the Nets lost to the Bulls on Tuesday, with general manager Sean Marks saying the organization didn't want to cause more fuss right now. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's on Amazon. The movie is on Amazon. He retweeted a movie that is on Amazon. He retweeted a movie that is on Amazon. You know, it's just, it's what it is. But guys, make sure there's a documentary that you don't have to buy on Amazon that you can go buy right now at searchforuhuru.com. Listen, if you're watching this, okay, if you are watching this, again, if you are, Kyrie was warned by 5%ers. Hold on. I don't have my own Discord. No, but I'm familiar with Discord. Kyrie was warned by the 5%ers 4 years ago, but he part of them too. I don't believe anything I see on media. He was warned. What warning did he get? I don't have Discord, but I'm familiar with it. I think I have it downloaded on my phone. All right, guys, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com. Again, go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. If you have not bought the documentary yet, please go and buy the documentary. Again, please go and buy the documentary. Also, too, tours coming up to Sierra Leone. I know it is coming up in a couple weeks. And no telling what is going on with this country here in America. But we have a larger bus. I have access to a larger bus. So I can take 4 more people. Again, I can take about 4 more people. We have access to a larger bus. So please go to donfo.africa. Again, please go to donfo.africa. There we go. Hold on. This thing is running slow. Okay. Please go to donfo.africa. Again, please go to donfo.africa to learn more. Again, please go to donfo, DANFO.africa to learn more. And I will greatly, 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 greatly appreciate it. Again, I would greatly appreciate it. Please go to donfo.africa to learn more about the tours coming up. Also, hit me up, send me an email, all that good stuff through the Donfo site. All right, I want to share something else with you guys too. We're going to jump into today's topic in regards to how this U.S. election could impact Africa. But what people have to understand, Africa's already been impacted by these elections. And I hate to say, well, I don't hate to say it. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to accept it. You're going to be upset. But let me pull this up real quick. Guys, I want to pull this up real quick. You know, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who works in Kenyan government. This was probably this is back probably around 2015. I was having a conversation with him. And he He told me something. He said, Dynast. And I know this might trigger a lot of people, but this is what he told me. He said, Dynast, when the Republicans are in office, when it comes to Africa, they aren't as involved, which is a good thing. Because you have to think about it. When Gaddafi was assassinated, again, when Gaddafi was assassinated, who was in power? Democrats. Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton was on TV laughing about it. Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe was vice president. Yeah, I think Kyrie has Native American blood. I know he was accepted into a tribe. I don't know. Yeah, Gaddafi was assassinated. What are you talking about? But who made the call? Barack Obama made the call. Barack Obama gave weapons to the mercenaries on the ground. Hillary Clinton was celebrating it when it happened. And now I want us to take a look at this bill. HR 7311, Countering Malign and Russian Activities in Africa Act. And this was presented by a Black Democrat. And for some reason, when I bring this stuff up, and especially and I'm not saying the Republicans are perfect. Never said that. Never said that when it comes to their African policy. But they're not as involved in Africa. Because again, this right here was presented, written, whatever you want to call it, by Mr. Gregory Meeks, Black Democrat, District 5, New York. And we're going to read through this. No, it doesn't matter. Hillary went over. No, but Obama said he regretted doing it. So, again, Obama was involved. And again, I'm not saying that, the Republicans aren't doing things in Africa as well, but some of the worst stuff that's presented in regards to policy regarding Africa has been on the left. So let's read this. HR 7311 in the Senate of the United States received, read twice, and referred to the Committee of Foreign Relations. Enact to direct the Secretary of State to develop and submit to Congress a strategy and implementation plan outlining the United States' efforts to counter the malign influence and activities of the Russian Federation and its proxies in Africa and for other purposes. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled. Section 1, short title. This act may be cited as the Countering Malign and Russian Activities in Africa Act. Section 2, sense of Congress. It is the sense of Congress that the United States should regularly assess the scale and scope of the Russian Federation's influence and activities in Africa that undermine United States objectives and interests and determine how, that's very vague and abstract. Russia being Africa, period, undermines United States objectives and interests. So, determine how to address and counter such influence and activities effectively, including through appropriate United States foreign assistance programs, and to hold accountable the Russian Federation and African governments and their officials who are complicit in aiding such malign influence and activities. So, this just is so gray that this is just, this is so gray that this is just giving the green light for America to, put boots on the ground, in quotation marks, for anything in Africa. Strategy and Implementation Plan Report. Strategy and Implementation Plan not later than 90 days after the date of the enactment of this act The Secretary of State shall develop and submit to the appropriate congressional committees a strategy and implementation plan outlining United States efforts to counter the malign influence and activities of the Russian Federation and its proxies in Africa, including programs and other initiatives designed to strengthen democratic institutions. I mean, again, this is just green lighting, United States of America to, put boots on the ground, do whatever they want, because it's so gray. So pretty much any Russian involvement in any type of way in Africa that is a benefit to Africa, here comes the USA. Strengthen democratic ties, improve government transparency and accountability, improve standards related to human rights, labor, anti-corruption initiatives, fiscal transparency, monitor natural resources and extractive industries and other tenets of good governance, and monitor and report on Russian political influence and disinformation operations and the activities of Russia-connected or Russian-funded private military contractors in Africa, where they're already there. Report in general, not later than 180 days after the date of the enactment of this act, and annually thereafter for 5 years. Secretary of State, in consultation with the heads of other relevant federal departments and agencies as appropriate, shall submit to the appropriate congressional committees a report on the strategy and implementation plan required by subsection A in related efforts to counter the malign influence and activities of the Russian Federation and its proxies in Africa. Elements. The report required by paragraph 1 should include the following: an assessment of the scope and nature of Russian Federation's malign influence and activities and related diplomatic, economic, and security priorities and strategic objectives of such engagement in Africa, including influence and activities that involve Russian proxies, such as Russian oligarchs, Russian-funded private military contractors, and other individuals and entities directly or indirectly employed by or financially or politically associated with Russian and its officials who are involved in or aid activities to, among other things, manipulate African governments and their policies, as well as the public opinions and voting preferences of African populations and diaspora groups, including those in the United States, and invest in, engage, or otherwise control strategic sectors in Africa, such as mining and other forms of natural resource extraction and exploitation, military basing, and other security cooperation agreements and information and communications technology. A detailed account of United States foreign assistance and other initiatives developed and implemented during the preceding 3 fiscal years to address Russian malign influence and activities in Africa, including objectives and details of planned programs and initiatives set out in the strategy required by subsection A. An analysis of policy and programmatic limitations, gaps, and resources requirements of effectively counter Russia's malign influence and activities in Africa, an overview of other initiatives and assistance programs funded by other international donors and partner countries to counter Russia's malign influence and activities in Africa. An identification of African governments and government officials, Russian government officials, and other individuals and entities that have facilitated payments and other prohibited activities that benefit United States sanctioned individuals and entities tied to Russia, including in violation of the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act, blah, 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 the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, blah, 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 executive order relating to blocking property with respect to specified harmful foreign activities of the government of the Russian Federation, and executive order 13848 relating to imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in the United States election, and a detailed overview of United States efforts to hold such governments, officials, and other individuals and entities complicit in violating or facilitating the evasion of United States sanctions against Russia and its proxies accountable through sanctions or other restrictions, and identification of foreign companies and persons that have provided transportation, logistical, administrative, border crossing, or money transfer services to Russian mercenaries or armed forces operating on behalf of the Russian government in Libya. Oh, man. And an analysis of whether such entities meet the criteria of imposition of sanctions under Section 1 of Executive Order 13726 relating to blocking property and suspending entry into the United States of persons contributing to the situation in Libya. There's a part that's missing. Hold on, there's a part that's missing. Hold on one second. So they included the they had included the diaspora. Like they had included the diaspora. That part is missing. Like pretty much if you're in the diaspora and you're doing anything related to like in Africa, that might be and you might be including Russia, that you're now a threat. Like where is that part? Unless they remove the diaspora part. But yeah, they had the diaspora up in here. Oh, let me see this part right here. Okay, let's see what this says. Yeah, they had included the diaspora. They removed it. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they had removed. I don't like that diaspora part isn't there. The diaspora part isn't there. But I'll put the link in the chat room if you guys want to call in and after the conversation. The link is in the chat room. Yeah, there was a section in there specifically having to do with the diaspora. Yeah, this is giving them any reason just to retaliate for no reason. But yeah, I'm trying to find the part that they it had mentioned the diaspora. I guess maybe they removed it. I don't know. But the diaspora was definitely in there as a threat. Yeah, the diaspora was definitely in there as a threat, but it's not there anymore. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's in there. It's not there. So, it's not there. Guys, listen, I just wanted to share that. Links in the chat room if you want to call in after the conversation. You're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to call in. Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like the last, I brought this up before. I brought this bill up before, and the diaspora was clearly in the bill in regards to, hey, listen, if y'all in Africa and y'all talking about anything Russian or doing business with Russia or including Russia, anything you're doing, you're a threat. But it's not there anymore. So let me add the link back in the chat room. If you guys want to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Guys, again, if you are watching this, if you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, I need you to go by the documentary. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Somebody brought up Russia locked up Brittany Griner, so why would the diaspora work with Russia? Well, they you had this Uhuru group, and we're not affiliated. Listen, in Search of Uhuru is not affiliated with the other Uhuru group, whatever. Yeah, we're not affiliated. The FBI raided their offices in Florida, I believe. So, and I guess they do some work with Russia somehow, affiliated. Go ahead, Alan.
Hey, I just wanted to call in a little bit and say something about Kyrie since you started the show off with him. Yeah, the thing that's getting me is that I am just baffled that in his situation and in Kanye's situation, and these are two people I don't really rock with like that, but in both situations, it seems there's a double standard where Jeff Bezos can platform the documentary, can put the documentary out, but Kyrie's supposed to apologize for reposting it. Kanye can, I'm not Kanye, anybody white can go ahead and interview Kanye, but when it comes to the black people who interview Kanye, they either have to pull it down like Rich Paul,
your boy Nor, your boy LeBron James,
Nori, right? They have to pull it down, and we accept that. I just don't understand how we get to a point where we don't tell people, regardless of how kooky I think Kanye and Kyrie is, we have a right to speak with them, and you don't have the right to tell us, as black men, who we can speak to. I don't get why that's not an emphasis, and I'm purely baffled by the fact that Jeff Bezos still has a 3.5-hour documentary up that is causing all the controversy, and nobody's asking him to pull it down. It just doesn't make any sense.
My bad. It's right here. I'm gonna pull it up right now. It's right here, still up. Hold on one second.
I don't.
The truth says Jeff Bezos don't watch every documentary people post on Amazon. A lot of y'all didn't even watch Donnie's documentary. With that being said, I need y'all to go buy the documentary, man. Listen, guys, there's over 100,000 subscribers, close to 110,000 subscribers. If you haven't bought the documentary, guys, go buy the documentary. Go buy the documentary. Yeah, it's still there. It's right there. That's part 2.
Yeah. It's amazing, and nobody's but Bezos is not anti-Semitic according to these people. He gets to live his wonderful liberal life. He can talk about buying the Washington Commanders and all this other stuff. Nobody's calling for him for that sale to be halted. I'm purely baffled. I mean, I knew these people were hypocrites. I just didn't know to what extent, and they could be that blatant about it. But this is blatant, and that's basically
like the books are up. The audio book is up. Is right there.
All the material is up. I'm confused. I'm thoroughly confused.
Here we go. Here we go. Hebrews and Negroes, Wake Up Black America. Here goes the DVD right there.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Hebrew Israelites. I'm not a fan of Kyrie Irving because Kyrie seems to hop on a lot of bandwagons. I'm not a fan of Kanye, but I can see the bigger picture and see that they're definitely being treated differently, and they're definitely being treated unfairly. And I don't know. We need to say something about that. In my view.
But you brought up the point how Kanye continues to be interviewed on these white platforms, but a black platform, then we can't have him.
Yeah, can't have it. I'm baffled.
Yeah, guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo, family. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. And the very few that traveled the first time, we identified them. Because they act like that. Let me read this comment. What'd you say? And the very few that travel for the first time, we identify them at Go Back to Africa because they act like they don't something extremely phenomenal. Don't something. I guess he meant done something. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, this is crazy. It's just a lot. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on, Alan.
Yeah, no, it is a lot. And again, I think people, because again, I have my issues with Kyrie, and I have my issues with Kyrie especially. But we need to put that aside and look at the bigger picture and see how this kind of stuff kind of affects us all. If people from the outside can tell us which one of us we're allowed to talk to, then what freedom do we have? That's just my basic question. What freedom do we have if we can't speak amongst each other, but other people are allowed to speak to us,
right,
as a proxy for us? And again, it's all these it's all the white liberal platforms that are doing this. You don't have these type of problems or calling for people not to talk, coming from Tucker Carlson and all these people like that. It's the white liberal.
Hey, when I say that, they tell me I support white nationalism. When I call out what you just called out, the obvious, I get cold that I'm supporting white nationalism.
Yeah, it's not supporting white nationalism if we're saying something that's very obvious. It's just
no. We call out the obvious. Period. Yeah. With regards to the black community, and for a lot of times it's I'm supporting white nationalists. I have Fox News talking points. There we go. I have Fox News talking points.
Yeah.
Hey, black men, let's stop killing each other. Let's stop killing each other, black men. Let's stop killing each other. Oh, you got Fox News talking points.
Yes, that's.
We got to stop the black on black crime in these communities. You have Fox News talking points.
Yeah. We've allowed people to turn us and turn us completely upside down. Where right is right and wrong is right and right is wrong, and it's everything's upside down.
I mean, it's to the point, even with I was talking to my friend earlier today. Like, literally, people want to end friendships just because you're not voting for the party that they vote for.
If somebody
people on the left, it's crazy.
If people want to end friendships because of that, then they weren't your friend in the first place.
You got a point. You got a point there. You got a point.
They weren't your friend in the first place. And I don't want to be your friend if you're really that shallow.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Guys, links in the chat. We're going to call in. If not, we'll go ahead and start closing out. Again, we'll go ahead and start closing out. Listen, if you want to roll with us to Sierra Leone in a couple weeks, I got a couple more spots. If you want to roll in a couple weeks, I got a couple more spots. So hit me up, family. Hit me up.
Here's another question about Africa. And
go ahead.
Wasn't it Donald Trump who was the one who sent the troops up into northern Nigeria to fight Boko Haram?
Well, I don't remember. I got to look that up. I remember the Nigerian government were trying to get support from it was when Obama was in office. I think they were trying to get weapons and Obama said no.
Right.
But I don't remember. Let me look that up. I looked it up right now.
And Trump said yes. It was even before he made the SO country comment or whatever, but he understood the greater picture in terms of that strategic necessity that there be arm the Nigerians to be able to do that in the north. So again, that was another one of those things that kind of like
yeah, you're right. He did. I just looked it up. He did.
Yeah. That was one of those things that made me start thinking differently about things. So I was, that was definitely one of those things.
Wisdom never sleeps. Go ahead.
Well, good day. I'm going to answer the question he just proposed about the why they can go on the white platforms and interview them and not the black. It's called one word: ownership. We don't own our platforms. They own it. And if they white and don't own it, they have a pass because they're part of the ownership of America. That's really the plain and simple truth. And with Bezos, he's an owner. So he can put things out there, post stuff. But the other side to that whole thing after ownership is most of our people do the attacking for them. We go after our own people, so they don't
I was
have
just saying that it's us. It's us. We'll attack. Yes. We stay. Yeah, exactly. Listen, we'll attack them on the white platform
for them. So then, when we start speaking, some of our people start speaking against it, and we don't like them and all that stuff. They put more fuel to their fire to attack them even harder, because they know there's no uprising, there's no pushback amongst their people. That's really those two things. Ownership, we don't have, they do. And our voices will go make their work easy for them to put more pressure on, to denigrate them and make them push back, because our people can't stand alone out there unless they're being assassinated by themselves. And so that's why they give in, that's why they give money, and that's why they apologize or half apologize, because they have to live themselves. They don't have their people backing them.
Hey, Wisdom, Mr. Wisdom never sleeps. What about so allegedly Drink Champs, who interviewed Kanye, were and they ended up removing the interview. It's owned by Revolt, and Revolt, I guess, is owned allegedly by Puff Daddy. So, what are your thoughts on that? Oh, we lost him. Sharuyan, go ahead. Or Alan, go ahead and Sharuyan.
No, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that basically in today's culture, everyone likes to look at rap as the ideal culture for a lot of Gen Zers and young people, and that's something that I noticed quite within, and a lot of it has to do with self-hatred against one another, and and it's a sad thing that needs to be addressed.
Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, what Wisdom was saying was correct. I mean, I guess that would be the only answer. And as far as Diddy concerned, I bet you if you go far enough into who really runs Revolt, it's not going to be really Diddy. I think he's probably the front for that, because Diddy seems very protective of whoever is really funding and paying for Revolt. He came out and he made statements about defending Jews, but like in a way that was, very kind of suspect. So I would like to do some research and find out exactly who actually does run Revolt and who actually does own it and who really pulls the purse strings for that particular network, because the whole thing was very strange. Even the interview where they had Nori, when he was up there apologizing for interviewing somebody and for something somebody else said, and he allowed, what was the Jewish guy there on Hot 97?
I know you're talking about. Man, let me look at. I know you're talking about the little short.
It's going to come back. But Rosenberg, he allowed Rosenberg to go up there and kind of chastise him. And then Rosenberg had another one of his Jewish friends there to set up to go ahead and chastise him some more. And I'm just sitting and watching it like this is nothing that he said. He said, but that this guy's whole drink champs thing is foolishness. They sit around, they get drunk and they talk and they don't really delve into anything. And Kanye got on there and said what he said, but if anybody should be held responsible for what Kanye said, it is Kanye. But they took this other black man and made him a proxy for everything Kanye said, and I just felt very uncomfortable with the whole thing, that whole interview. If anybody watches it, between Rosenberg and Peter Rosenberg and Nori, is very uncomfortable, because then you realize that they do kind of see us as pejorative, and they do feel entitled to kind of scold us and make sure that we don't get out of line. And it made me very very uncomfortable, that sense of liberal paternalism.
Go ahead, Brandon. There he went. There he went. He was there, then he went.
Yeah, that sense of liberal made me feel very uncomfortable. Damn, is it me?
Yeah. I don't know what was going on. Somebody was screaming. I don't know, man. What the hell was going on? He got off with that. Was that wasn't on your end, was it?
No, it wasn't me. It was the other guy. But I was like, man,
I mean, maybe they was killing the chicken. I don't know what was going on. But you got off fast as hell the minute the noise started coming. Guys, listen. Link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in, add to the link. Again, if you want to call in, please add to the link. Here you go. Let's see. What do you say? Dinah's 2 local black businesses here in LA closed their doors. One was a Jamaican spot and the other was a barbecue spot. Wow. Well, it wasn't King Joseph. It wasn't the Jamaican spot in off in Leimert Park, Aki Bamboo. That's the best Jamaican food I ever had. I've never been in Jamaica, but that Jamaican food, the best Jamaican food I ever had in America, that Aki Bamboo in Leimert Park. All right, go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
So, Alan, I love you, Alan, right? You're my guy, right? You're my favorite Democrat. But one thing I don't like about what you're doing with the what everybody's doing with the revolt thing, and Dynas, you're the moderator, but you probably noticed this too. Every time a black person shits on black people, we always make it seem like there's some type of white entity behind it that's controlling it. Oh, Diddy ain't really controlling revolt. Diddy don't really own that. There's some white person behind it. No, there isn't. Diddy owns revolt, just like he owns Bad Boy. Diddy screws people over to put money in his pocket. He's not the unwitting accomplice or this captive perpetuator, this mindless perpetuator of white supremacy. The guy literally owns Revolt. He goes out like every other corporation, finds sponsorship for it, and then puts people on stage to push a certain narrative because he's getting paid. Just like this is the same thing that ADOS tried to do. They tried to make themselves a vehicle for democratic contributions and for democratic ideology to spread and be pushed on the black people. We'll never say, oh, Candace Owens don't really own the Candace Owens show. She's being used, right? Listen, no, she's not. The lady has her own opinions, and she's paid to express those opinions because she does so in a way that makes people want to watch her. Black people are never going to go forward if when someone does something negative in our community, we automatically try to put it off on another group of people. The drug dealer on the corner, he's selling drugs because the white man won't give him a job. No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, look at Candace D. No, Brandon, the co-founder of Revolt. Co-founder, meaning there are two people who founded Revolt. But what you're saying is they are co-founders, but only one of them is responsible for the negativity. Diddy is just a guy who's being strung along and is accidentally doing shit to sabotage black people. It's not. We have the Dynast, Alan, we have this programming. Where has it gotten us? Everybody tells you, oh, meritorious manumissions. They've made an agreement with white folks to never help black folks. No, they haven't. They don't want to help black people because they're looking at it like, I got money, you don't. If I get a close relationship with you, you'll probably do something like kill me and take my money. This is the reality, guys. I know it's hard to accept this idea that one of these celebrities can really shit on you just because he wants to do that. But it even happens in Africa. It happens all over the world. Every black person exploiting black people is not doing so in service of white supremacy. I know a black guy who is a used car salesman. Very shady. He owns his car company, his car lot. He has his own financing company. You know, this is how people like Tariq Nasheed are able to continuously grift black people. Oh, the white man wouldn't let me. The white man wouldn't let me. No, guys. They're making a conscious decision every day to manipulate and take advantage of and exploit black people. And we need to stop giving these people the back door of, oh, it's really the white man who's doing it. Every man is making his own decisions. I'm not doing it. Go Black not doing it. Dynast ain't doing it. Allen ain't doing it. And we would never do it, no matter how much someone offers us, right? But if we did do it, it would be our choice to do that. Get these black faces out of here based on this a sacred. Martin Luther King did it to you. He screwed you over. He knew what he was doing for money, and you followed him. Now, but he acknowledged he made a mistake. Nah, he acknowledged that he didn't get. He acknowledged that he didn't get everything he thought he was going to get, and then he wants to turn on the white man. I'm not buying that, and nobody should buy that because that's a recipe for death and disaster, and never having nothing.
Go back to Africa. Go ahead.
What's up, Dynast? What's up, panel? Yeah, you know, I gotta agree with Brandon in what he's saying as far as us. You know, the excuses are up. You know, when we have to really look within self, and you know, it's evident that we have people who are part of this shaming one another that we have to call out. And you know, it really irked me when I watched the video of them pressuring Kyrie Irving again about what he said and want to try to hang him off of a movie that was created by somebody else. And you know, it's sad to say that, you know, for you know, y'all brothers there in America, that you know, this destroying a brother in public view is getting worse, and everybody's going to feel it. I mean, they're going to squish the air out of us with the knee on the neck, spiritually, if not physically. And my thing is that it's time, man, for us to recognize what's actually being done. I mean, you know, black men has been getting more airtime here in the last couple of years on stuff that they want to try to hang us publicly. And my thing is that, you know, watching that interview of Kyrie and then watching that Jason Williams and they had a starter or Audemars, what's his name? Ahmad Stoudemire, and interviewing him.
What did Stoudemire say?
Oh, Stoudemire, he claims to be a Jew, but yet
Right.
he was saying that, yeah, Kyrie, he could have presented a little different, whatever, this and that. And this is where we at today. They got us in the corner where we have to watch the words we say. In other words, shut your mouth, zip your lip, and don't say a word, or we'll castrate you in front of the public. And we should stand up and really say something about this, because when Candace Owens can talk about black people, why ain't black people say, hold up. If Kanye talk about black people, if people using the N word or whatever it is, we should call them out, just like daggone the Jews are calling people out, because these people aren't part of the whole. These people work for an organization that they are getting paid for, so they will go ahead and they're just the voices for those who know they can't say it, which will pay them, sponsor them to come out of their mouth and say this against the black community, and they're safe. So I'm going to do my own fight back. So y'all going to see where I'm going to open the veil of the Jews. I got interviews coming up of the true Jews here in Africa. I'm going to backtrack to some of these countries I've been to. I'm going back to South Africa. I'm going to Nigeria. I'm going to talk to the Igbo, the Yoruba. I'm talking to the Limba, and I'm going to expose the truth. And that's my journey. That's my means of fighting back, so that every time somebody wants to come out their mouth and talk about their Jews or be called anti-Semitic, when people that we are in that tribe of Israel, there's nothing they're going to have to say, because white America don't even know their own history. I watched the other day of so many white people talking about, I never knew anything about the Black Wall Street. Yeah, because a lot of history in the black community was never taught in your textbooks in school. And these people are ignorant to what America has done to us and still doing, because they're indoctrinated with these school books, and they will only, that's why they're trying to do the critical race theory, throw out that slavery. We're tired of our children hearing about that. We don't want that discussion no more. They're putting all that away. But nobody says anything about Hollywood when they put daggone slave movies up. Why? Nobody's saying that when they put all these slavery movies to reiterate who got the power and put you back to that right there is nothing but a hypnotic move to touch the ancestral memory in us, to keep us in place, to keep us docile and quiet. That is a purpose-driven, racist move that they do against us. But nobody says anything. We take our silly asses over to these movies and watch them so they can make millions. And my thing is, it's time for us, man, to stand up. If not, then you know what? I'm telling you all, black man's voice is it's void. It's non-existent. And they're proving it right now as they castrate and put you to the noose and hang you in the public's eye to get you to apologize and shut you up. They don't want to hear anything. And this was happening. So when you see those jokers out here,
Go Black. Let me add. Go Black. He had to pay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess he decided to. Donate $500,000 towards ending hate or Kyrie.
That was a fine. That was a fine, because it
wasn't a fine. No, but it wasn't a fine.
It was de facto fine, because they couldn't legally fine him for something he didn't say. So hold up, I missed that. So he had to pay $500,000, or he donated, if you will,
he
$500,000 towards what?
$500,000 towards ending hate.
The guy defended himself perfectly.
This is just the example. This is the example of what they do.
Kyrie defended himself perfectly. He said, look, I didn't say anything. I just posted something. And then it's like they take your words, they run and make up these stories saying you said things you didn't say, and then you're paying. And I wouldn't have paid them nothing. Dynast, Can I ask you one question real quick, just to you? Because people think I'm just crazy, right?
Go
If
ahead.
I do research and my research says Combs Enterprises owns Revolt, Sean Puffy Combs is the founder of Revolt. You can't find any other information that goes contrary to that. Why is it that black people go into denial? He doesn't really own it. Someone behind the scenes is pulling the strings. The guy owns it. Dinus, who owns Revolt?
Puff Daddy. Diddy.
Right. So why would a black person sit up there knowing that, but say, nah, say it ain't so. It can't be true. He doesn't own Revolt. Why do we do that? I mean, go black, anybody. Why do we do that? Why do we choose to live in cognitive dissonance and deny things that are right in front of our face?
Well, I like what Jason Williams said today when on the panel in defense of Kyrie Irving. He said, you all are talking about what Kyrie Irving had said, but you're not going after where the video is on these platforms. You're not going after those guys who's promoting, as they say, promoting these videos to billions of people. So, you know, and that's what they do. They deflect over to somewhere else. What you're saying, Brandon, is we like to deflect. We like to pass the buck. We like to find that excuse. And that's what white America likes to do. Oh, but Kyrie said this. But hold up, the video is on Netflix. Why aren't you going after Netflix if you're talking about promoting?
Go black.
You know what I'm saying?
Go black. It's because we are just like the white masters who enslaved us. We're literally down to the point. We're down to the point where we're saying, somebody in the comment, well, who owns a network that it's owned? And they gave him these people gave him a loan and he got to pay them back. So they really are like, we literally know that stuff is bull crap. So if you get a loan from somebody, they now own your business. That doesn't make sense. You know how many businesses take out loans every year? That doesn't mean that the ownership of their business transfers over to that bank that owns it. Now they can demand their loan and make them liquidate and take things to get paid back, but they don't own that brand. They don't get copyright and ownership rights or LLC rights to that business. Black people will say anything to ignore this. Kyrie Irving is being persecuted because we're allowing that to happen. Kanye West is being persecuted because we're allowing that to happen. Dinus, I gave an example on my channel. I said, you know, say your mama going at you, she whooping your ass, right? And she going too far. Your daddy the one who say, you know, all right, now that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Somebody step in. All right, I understand. It don't mean the person is right or wrong, but you're doing that's enough, okay? We sit up, let these brothers get lynched, and make up every excuse in our mind why what they're doing is okay. Oh, he did this, he did that, he did this, right? Dinus, I used to work with a kid who was mentally disabled. The kid was 7 years old. The kid was white. He used to say the N word, to try to trigger.
One second, Brandon, and then I got to pass it to Wizard Never Sleeps. He's been waiting. But so hold on, let me read this real quick. So Puff Daddy does have a co-owner. The co-owner is white. What are your thoughts on that?
Who's the founder of Revolt?
Well, no, it's saying it's saying this guy named Andy Shawn, SCHUON, co-founded it with Puff Daddy.
Right. So, but this is what we're doing, Dinus. We're saying Puff Daddy has a white co-founder. Oh, that's the person who's controlling everything. So Puff Daddy's not really guilty of what he's doing. Let's put it on this white guy. No, bro. Puff Daddy is right there at the meetings. The thing is under Combs Enterprises. Now we have to find who has the majority ownership or whatever. But Puff Daddy is just as guilty in that as the white guy. I'm not absolving him of guilt because there's a white person involved. That's silly. That means you're going to let the fox in the hen house because the fox telling you he a hen. Oh, and the real enemy is this other fox outside. No, they're both foxes. They're both in the hen house. They both eating up chickens. They're both guilty mutually. I'm not absolving anybody of responsibility. You on that side. We don't draw a clear line in the sand, Dinus. That's the reality. We don't
Let
draw
me
a clear line in the sand.
let me pass it to Wisdom. Wisdom never sleeps. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, he does have co-ownership, but he's responsible for everything that he says and what goes out. And just like Brandon said, we got to stop trying to, as they say, whitewash everything under the rug, because they can't make him do anything. And if they are pulling the strings, he's the face of those strings. It goes back to when he was saying we're going to start our own party just to keep people from voting Trump at the time, to get everybody to vote for Biden and the Democrats. And we so forgot that. And then after that happened, he went away from that. No more talk about our own party. Now, one thing we have to understand as well with this situation with Kyrie and stuff, and I agree this time with Brandon about why are you paying money and say you're not going to apologize? You sit there in front of the people question you doing a basketball game interview, and you said, I am not backing down. But you donated money because they told you you talking hate speech. We just don't have enough people to stand up and say, enough is enough, and that what he said is well, and we're gonna back it up. The other side to that, as I find, is the religious fact that nobody wants to address. Now I know Go Black to Africa, I love you, and you was talking about what you're gonna bring forth about who the real Israelites. I have not seen any of these real Israelites stand up behind anything that Kyrie says or anything that is said by Kanye.
I'm not
None
talking
of
about
them come out.
American
They
Hebrew.
argue with each
I'm not
other
talking
in the
about American
so-called
Hebrew
group.
Israelites.
American,
I'm
African
talking about
doesn't matter.
African.
That's biblical. And if you really, really, really want to go way back into African ancestral, that was way before that stuff come about. And so, but even if you're going to go that route, these arguments I've seen on YouTube, brothers against brothers, the Hebrew Israelite arguing with everybody about their lineage, but they're not there right now. Why? Where are they at? To defend the black man because they said this is their heritage. Why are they not in the group crying loud right now about that? Nobody's going to answer that question because they forget about it. I've seen them almost fighting over saying that we are the true Israelites, we're the true people, and they're fake. But as soon as they clamp down on one of your own people for trying to bring knowledge to the world and their own people, they are quiet. Please explain that to me. Why are they quiet? And still, because it's why. They're not fussing against another black person about it. They're not standing up to the people that they say are not the true people. They the ones should be on the front line right now because they've been arguing this issue for years on YouTube. But only to the people of the same color. That's who they're arguing with. Where are they?
Yeah.
And if you're going to bring all this information, you know, that's great, but where's it going to be brought to other than your people? Are you ready to bring it to those people? Are you ready to call up Kyrie and everybody else and say, hey, I got your back?
Well, let me put it like this right here. You know, those out there in America who are saying they're Hebrew Israelites, you know, I'm talking about the Africans here. We're going further back. We're going further back than just what we're talking about those in America. Africa don't even know anything about them over there existing in America. We're talking about we're talking about folks who's got where I'm going to present to the people thousands of years of history that exists to show the tie of what it's going to be full circle. There's a purpose and a reason why the Hebrew Israelites, if you will, that's in America are doing what they're doing. I believe it's ordained. It's bringing awareness. It's opening up the eyes. People are researching. People are looking into this whole thing. So my thing is that this is just another puzzle that's going to bring things to full circle. So to be able to tie it in to show that even Africa has the oldest tribes that even daggone the Jewish people came in and did tests, try to check to debunk or whatever, and could not debunk that these people here have a lineage to the tribes of Israel. And so, you know, so my thing is that, and it's not even, it's going to open up the eyes, not just for black folks, it's going to open up the eyes even to the white people. This is proof in the pudding.
So once people discover they're Israelites, what is that going to make them do that they're not doing already?
Well,
That's my question as well.
Well, look. You got brothers who come out of prison standing on the street corners screaming about their Hebrew Israelites. They stopped the drinking, stopped the smoking, stopped the crime. They made a change of life. So what is it going to do? It brings awareness. Now, to what each individual does, that's their business. But what I believe is that excuse me?
Brother, they do that with the NOI.
Well,
they do that,
yeah.
Get them off of drugs, drinking, family, and all that in the NOI. They do that same thing. But the NOI also is not on the front line.
Positive.
They got their little clips, but they're not out there saying, hey, we standing with these people. That's what I'm getting at. Every religious sect in Black America, Black African, we have these religious sects, and they can go out and get anybody straight, get in the program going, but that's not going about the ownership of the people and butt breaking one Black person at a time that has money and wealth. It's doing nothing for them.
Wisdom? What are you doing? I'm doing something. What are you doing?
I didn't say I'm going to bring all this to light.
Well, what are you going to do? I'm asking you. You're telling me it's not going to help. So what are you going to do?
No, I'm asking you how it's going to help. I asked you where was the people at. That's what I'm asking.
What he's doing is he's holding people accountable. What he's doing is he's holding people accountable for things that they're saying is going to fix stuff that we all know are failed models that don't fix anything. That he's doing a good job because he's calling you out, and you should want to get called out so you can say, hey, here's a clear line between discovering we're Israelites and getting to where we want to be. Because I've never heard of an Israelite outside of the Bible. There's not one artifact. There's nothing. No Hebrew language, none of that stuff. But somehow we're those people. We're fighting over identity. Identity don't matter. What matters is, what are you doing? Not, oh, I'm a pickle. I'm an orange. I'm a carrot. Hey, if the carrots is winning, let's be carrots. If the carrots is losing, being a carrot ain't doing nothing for them. I understand what wisdom is doing. And to say, what are you doing is a dismissive tactic. You said we're Israelites. That means the burden of proving it is on you. But guess what? Scientists can't even prove that.
I didn't say that.
Historians can't even prove that.
Listen what I'm saying. You know, because everybody identifies with something. I don't care what it is. If you identify with that, you're Black. So my thing is this right here. When this whole argument that's going on.
I ain't Black. I'm African.
Well, you identify as being African. My thing is that this war that's going on that we see before our eyes, right? Well, let's lay down the facts then. That's what I'm saying. Is that the argument is about whether it was Nick Cannon, whether it was Kanye, whether it was Kyrie, whether it was, whoever's talking about their Jews, let's lay it down because there's a disbelief. There's so many people don't even realize, even in Ethiopia, there are Jews flown over to Israel, talking about they're suffering persecution.
But why did the Most High defend Kyrie? Why didn't the Most High defend Kanye? That's the whole thing. Where this is nothing.
It's not about that. I don't look at it like
it is.
God. It's not about why.
Why would you follow the rules of a God who doesn't protect you? Go Black. That's the whole crux of this. You follow the law, He protects you.
Well, it's not about that. It's not about why. You asking why? What do you mean the protection?
What's the point of the covenant, brother? What's the point of the covenant if you don't got protection? What's the point of
protection from what? Nobody got killed. What are you talking about?
The Israelites in the Bible got protected from their enemies if they followed the Most High. These brothers are following the Most High. They're standing up, making up, bearing witness, and they're getting destroyed by the Edomite. And the Most High is doing nothing for them.
You know why?
The contract is normally good and useless.
On this aspect of it, they're going to have to stand what they believe in. If you come out your mouth and say you something, then you stand for what you believe in. All right. If you don't, then they crack or you fold. You know what? You ain't strong in what you believe in.
Go Black.
That's just how it is.
Go Black. What makes you an Israelite? Being in a contract with the Most High, right?
Look,
right?
When
I'm asking you a straight up question, brother.
I don't sit around preaching about you are an Israelite per se.
I'm asking you a straight question. What is the point of it? What makes you an Israelite? A contract you made with the Most High, right?
Not a contract that the Most High made.
A covenant. Okay.
That you follow.
And guess what he said? He said, if you follow, He'll protect you. Well, there's a lot of brothers out here following it, but guess what? They ain't getting protected.
What
So clearly, the
what
answer to
protect
this is not no
what are you talking about, Brandon?
biblical.
What are you talking about?
All
You
right,
gotta
all
you're
right.
gonna endure by the enemy. But those who stand flat-footed at attention in their faith, don't be moved. What? So what? What if you get fired from your job, you mean you didn't get protected? We're talking about what? Their lives wasn't taken. They're going to be scrutinized. They need to be scrutinized. They need to be checked to see where do they stand. You either going to believe in what you say and stand for it, or you just crumble. That means then you don't believe in what you stand. If these jokers can get you to crack, that means that you don't believe in what you stand. So yes, you're
So
going to be persecuted.
so
It was said you will be persecuted. It was
so
said you.
basically, let these people beat on you for another 200-300 years while you wait for the Most High to do something. Go
No, no,
black. It
no,
makes
no.
no
Look,
sense.
look, look, look. Nothing said that you got this. This is the problem they got. They want to stand in a system. They want to stay in the system. They don't.
Fam, they've been beating us
They
up
don't
for
want to sever the
400 years.
ties.
They've
They
been
don't
beating
want to
us up
sever the
for 400
ties.
years, and you like, yeah, stand firm and endure it a little longer. You just go like, that's over, man.
No,
You can't
that's
tell your people to
them,
keep
Brandon.
laying down.
No, Brandon, that is them. You fighting for Pan-Africanism. Why don't you just let it go? Why don't you just go about your business? Why are you standing fighting for black people? For what? And they getting themselves killed every day and
I'm
killing
not
each
fighting
other.
for anybody. I'm not fighting for anybody. I'm telling black people we need to get the hell out of here.
I,
And I ain't attaching
The
no
what do you
guns
problem
to
think
I
it.
I'm
I'm
see
saying?
is
What do you think I'm
one
saying?
of the
I'm
problems
saying the
I
same thing you saying, but what I'm saying is this right here is
well,
that
that's why I
if they
agree with
want to
you.
stay
That's
into
where
the
I agree with you
system,
at.
if they want to stay into the system and they want to be tied to it, keep taking your whippings. If you believe in what you stand in, you sit there and keep taking your whippings because you know me, go black to Africa, get the hell out. If you know you will be attacked, you know you ain't about nothing, you ain't respected. So why are you still there? They're still there because they're afraid. These millionaires, billionaires are afraid. They don't know how to live without thinking in their mind they cannot survive unless they have these millions and billions of dollars. They're afraid. They're so attached to the system. They're slaves in their minds. These people,
they're
that's
in the
why I'm
system
saying
because the people own nothing, so they have no support from anybody collectively. So
they don't
even if
need
they try
support.
to stand, they
They
know
look,
eventually they're
I,
gonna stand
I tell
alone,
people,
regardless they die in what they believe in or not.
I tell people this
It's
right here.
still not
Look,
helping the people who won't change their mindset and move forward because down. We rush to say what we don't like about the person versus what they did right or said right. Can we not first say that we are the human people and start there? All the other differences take care of itself,
look,
but we can't get past differences of religion, economics, and things like that as a group. So we will never, ever, ever, we will always see somebody tarred and feathered by opening their mouth too long trying to defend a people that don't want to defend themselves.
well, because y'all are on the plantation and everybody's sitting by the wayside, just like the slaves did. Watch somebody get beat, watch somebody get hung, watch somebody get burnt because you're in the system. When you're in the system, nobody's going to stand for you because nobody wants to take the loss. Why do you think people want to come on my platform and hide their faces and want to talk about the system? No, see, you still a slave. When you a slave to a system and you're indebted to it, you will not stand up because you don't want to lose what you got. I ain't got
It's
nothing to
not so
lose.
much not want to be, people want to remain in the system. People don't want their own system. Black people don't want their own accountability. So you can quietly build in the groundwork as a group, but they don't want that. They still need the love and recognition and approval and support from the white people they say they don't like.
And this is what
It
I'm
still goes
doing
back
little
to
by
that.
little. This is what I'm doing little by little, video by video, to bring awareness and educate. You know how many people have come to Africa? Many have come to live because of Dynas and myself, and whether it's Watermaya, the Bag family. That all of the you black brothers and sisters, YouTubers who left America, showing the way. You know how many people are coming? Some people, you know what? They will never wake up. That's why I like what Harriet Tubman said. I could have freed a lot more slaves if they only knew they were slaves. There are people who are tied to a system you got the house Negroes out here that are bashing the brothers and sisters, and then you got the slaves out, the field Negroes out here. Some are just afraid to leave the plantation. Some don't have a know-how. Some just don't have a mindset of starting their own system. They don't. Kanye proved that when I did the video the other day. How? He doesn't know how. When he was interviewed back in 2013 with Sway, he doesn't know how to do it on his own. He only knows how to knock on the master's door and ask, can you let me create my own clothing thing? This is how we are. We were indoctrinated to become workers from the time you came out your mother's womb. In Africa, it's entrepreneurship. It's the flip side. In America, we were indoctrinated to work for somebody. And it's scary, and I don't blame my brothers.
Don't you think, Kanye, in his speech, he's crying out to his people so he won't be alone, but he found out that he is. So when you say somebody can't do it alone, they can't do it alone.
Kanye sold out his people a long time ago.
They still got to protect. He still got children and everything else to worry about as well.
I don't care nothing about Kanye. Kanye sold out his people long time ago.
Amen.
He sold out his people a long time ago.
But see, there we go again.
Stay with them.
It's nobody. Let me say this, and I've listened to you and everybody else on your channels, and for years I listened to other things. And every time it comes down to a black person saying something, either directly about their own people that we need to straighten out, or the system we need to go against, we always find people, always, that has something they don't like about that person and they can't get past it to be part of the support of that person. Always. If you tell me I'm wrong, then you have not been listening either, because you just said, I don't like him. So then no matter what he can do, whether his mind changes, he grow up, want to do more,
I don't care for Kanye.
What has he said or done that's something right that you can say that you know he did something or said right?
Look, see, that's the problem we have as black people.
No, it's not a problem.
We don't want to call out.
We don't want to call out those. It's time out for the sugarcoating. If you got mismatched socks and you got on 2 socks and somebody pick at your socks, but they don't have on socks, at least you're wearing some. So what I'm getting at is the fact that I keep hearing people that I don't like. But has he done anything or said anything that you agreed with? As one color person to another. What has he done that you agreed with?
It's not about that.
Regardless,
it is about that, because you can't get past your dislike.
It's not about that.
It is.
Brother, let me share this with you.
It is. I raised 4 sons, and I can look at a man and tell him Wade keeps talking. Once he honed in and said, I don't like something, but he can't tell me one thing.
You didn't hear me say I don't like
one thing that somebody did right. Your dislike is always going to be in front of everything.
Nobody should stand up for Kanye West when he had sold the black people out. My thing is that, yes, you want to say, well, is there some things that you agree with what he said? That has nothing to do with anything. There's some people, we as a people will talk things that you can say, yeah, that's true. But Kanye has proven time and time again that when he crosses the line and goes over there to the other side, he's with his white wife, he's with the white people, he has all his white circle. But then when he gets in trouble, he runs back over. This is what house niggas do.
Well, how many of them don't do that? People do that in their regular jobs and date the white girls, and they still run back home to mom and them and the friends when they get in trouble. So that's a normal thing. Just because he has a lot of money and he's out front, you gonna keep saying that? How many of you brothers are marrying white women and sleeping with them?
Let me read this super chat and we pass the gas him up. MS Delta guy, thank you for super chat. Vote Republican in upcoming elections. Get a passport. Build systems in and outside of USA, multiple avenues. K West is not a Robert Smith. Show me where Ye has invested in black people. Gas them up. Go ahead, gas them up.
Yeah, what's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Just wanted to point out some certain things real quick. I think the with the topic in terms of elections in the United States affecting Africa, I think it's very true. I'll give you guys a case study. During the 90s, you had General Sani Abacha, right, who was in charge of Nigeria at the time. And I forgot the woman's name. Brother Philip, if you in the chat, please type her name in. She was a senator from Chicago. And she was the only one advocating and fighting on behalf of Sani Abacha, where they were trying to put sanctions on him. And this was during Clinton's administration. Now, what's funny is that they were putting sanctions on him, yet at the same time, China was allowed to do whatever they want, right? So it's interesting. Everyone talks about, oh, well, Abacha's regime. Mind you, the guy refused IMF loans. I'm not saying he was perfect, but they always talk, oh, the human rights, and they cry all these New York Times granola eating people, these woke people, and they're so weak. But um, when China is doing what they're doing with human rights, no one said anything. It was business as usual. So I think um, we have to look at it from a systems analysis, and this stuff gets very deep. So the problem is that we can't replace a system with nothing, right? You can't, for example, remove a person from a system that they've been programmed in, and then not have something that's going to continue a program for them. That's going to be problematic, and that's why most people aren't going to follow. So, what are some suggestions that we can start doing? I think we can start looking at it globally. When you look at other groups who are in the United States, particularly immigrant groups, and I would assume that I believe that Black people, African Americans, are an immigrant group. They are still tied back home through their consumption, through their daily habits, and through different patterns of their existence. That has to be brought back to the forefront again. Black consumption has to be tied back to Africa or the Caribbeans in some sort of way. So now you have a bloc, right, that can fight on your behalf on a national level, that can start to lobby your government, and your local politicians can also be put into lobby, right? And that has to be done in order for us to create an alternative system. So that way, if anyone within the community wants to stand up and speak out for themselves, they can afford to do so. I'll end with this. There's a bank, there was a Black owned bank in Chicago. I forgot what it was, the original name of the bank. It's called GN Bank now. It's owned by a Ghanaian, and this is historic, right? Shout out to brother Philip Lindsay. He put me onto this information. Very historic. They don't talk about this. It's not celebrated. But this was a predominantly Black-owned, African-American-owned institution bank in Chicago that was taken over by a Ghanaian, an African on the continent. Yet the system put so many regulations on these people and this bank, they were not able to expand or give loans or do anything that a bank is supposed to be able to do, right? We should have been able to, I'm saying Black people in America and around the world should have been able to use that as an opportunity to leverage a new system, a new financial system, an economic model. What do I mean by that? That bank should have been on everybody's WhatsApp. It should have been on everybody's TikTok. It should have been on everybody's B1, Black First, Freedman, Afro, Pan African, whatever. That bank should have been on the first page of everybody's Facebook, on everything. We should have been making online deposits to that bank, so that way they could have been giving out loans to Black entrepreneurs. And that would have spurred perhaps even more African or Caribbean banks buying or partnering with African American banks in America. So now you can have an alternative to having to go to Bank of America and begging them for money. But they were regulated to oblivion, right? And so, yeah, with the topic at hand, the elections are very critical. And I think when Black people start thinking regionally and globally, as opposed to these local, silly politics. Well, I'm FBA and you're African. Look, we don't say that to the Russian. The Russian guy travels, well, not the Russian anymore, but before Ukraine, they owned property in New York, they owned property in London, they owned property in LA, and they had their home base in Russia. And they were global businessmen. So I'm tired of us reducing ourselves to not being global business people. We have to do that. And last but not least, if we are to do that, that's going to mean we have to restructure how we are consuming things, right? You look at other communities. Chinese people typically will consume Chinese commodities and Chinese products. Same thing with Jewish or Israeli or Hebrew people, whatever you want to call them. we don't consume, particularly in America, products that are sourced from Africa or the Caribbean, and vice versa. We have to make Garvey's dream a reality to create an alternative system. And until we do that, we're just wasting our time flapping in the wind.
All right, let me read these super chats. Let's see here. MS Delta guy, thank you for super chat, brother. Kanye West is a self-made billionaire. Respect, but him, what? Okay, but he has been used. But I can't remember. But has he used those billions to help empower blacks in USA or Africa? Why not build factories in the USA or Africa? We got another super chat. Shout out to Brandon for the support. The Hebrews fake strength, but when one of them is being crucified, they disown him over character flaws. This is the worst type of hypocrisy, just like Peter Peter disowned Jesus in Gethsemane, Maine. Yeah, something like that. We can be both ADOS, FBA, and still work with Africans in Africa.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chrissy. Go ahead, Chrissy. I forgot Chrissy was there. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Yeah, that's all right. Can you hear me?
You're kind of low, but let me just turn my speakers. Hold on, let me just turn my speakers up. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make the point that from what Go Black to Africa was saying about Kanye West, it just proves the point that Black love is conditional, and that is why, so many folks are ready to cast him off. And it tends to be bigger than him. It's about how you allow other people to treat your people. So it's not just about Kanye West as an individual. It's about Black people and Black people's right to freedom of speech as a people, or freedom as a people, right? But we are so emotional. We're unable to see that as the bigger picture, and we focus on what this person has done for us, and we start kind of doing, a checklist on what they have or have not done for the Black community, and if they are worthy of being treated in a humane way. He's not being treated in a humane way, but we are okay with that because we don't have the self-love that we claim to have, because he said something we didn't like. So that makes me think of, that's potentially how the slave trade started. It could have started with, hey, these people right here, these are prisoners, he didn't pay his debt, or maybe he touched my daughter or something like that. Yeah, go ahead, go take him off, take him off my hands. But in the process, you're teaching another group of people how to treat your people. And this is why we end up in the situations we do. And then the same people who have conditional love, not unconditional love, will turn around and say, oh, the Black celebrities, they're sellouts, they're not doing anything. But this proves the point to the rest of them. Why should they do anything to stick their neck out for the rest of Black people, when the same people who criticize them for not doing anything will not stand up for them when they are in trouble? Regardless if you like them or not, it should be about higher than that. It should be about the principle. And yes, you can not like what someone said, you can scold what they say, but we're basically saying, hey, just take the rope, just hang him, do whatever you want with him. That is a problem. But everyone knows that we're like that, and that's why they feel comfortable to treat our people the way they treat our people.
Chrissy, can I ask you a question? Or can I say something to you? Actually, so let me tell you this. What do you take from this statement that Black people only exist under the gaze of white people? What do you take from that statement?
You mean the concept of Blackness?
Whatever you want to define it as. How do you take that? I'm saying to you, Black people only exist, in response to what you said, Black people only exist under the gaze of whiteness.
I get that. I can understand. I believe I can understand where you're coming from with that, where if it's not, for instance, some people would say that, hey, when a Black person kills a Black person, we don't say anything. When a white person kills a Black person, then we're out all the rage, because when it's just us amongst ourselves, whatever the situation is not important enough. Unless a white person enters, then we're ready to be emotional. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say.
No, of course, no. That's one aspect of it. But what I'm saying is that, Chrissy, is that for me, I don't think Black exists because it's not defined. There's no, it's ephemeral. That's
Okay.
it. If it's just skin color, then it doesn't
Yeah.
exist,
But
because
here's the
then you get
problem.
biracial, you get these things. So I'm not telling
Uh-huh.
you that we don't suffer an oppression based on their, interpretation of blackness. Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
have the power right now. So they say it's like Harry Potter, right? They came to Nigeria and said, "You're a Nigerian," and the Nigerian said, "Yes, I'm Nigerian. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you." Right? And
Right.
and and as opposed to saying, "Wait a minute, I'm not what you say I am. I
Gotcha.
am who I am, and I
Right.
am who I define myself as." So the part of the problem, and that's why I was saying you can't replace the system without another system, is that first we have to define blackness and we have to put parameters in place. Right now, the definition of blackness, for the most part, comes from whites, or it comes from the shared negative oppression that we've experienced at the hands of whites. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have a definitive concept of blackness. So Kanye West looks black, but everything he does is a consumption of whiteness. He's married a white woman. He goes to white people for validation. White people are the ones who made him billionaires, right? He got white contracts. So there's nothing black for the most part in what he's doing. He makes allegedly black music, but you and I know the largest consumers of, this urban music are white people, right?
Uh-huh.
They're the largest consumers of this stuff. So it on one hand, I guess I'm asking in general, how do we define blackness without having the pitfalls of tribalism that created, like you said, that slave trade, or that slave genocide, as I call it, dynamic, right?
Well,
Because
I don't.
we have to define it.
Uh-huh. And I don't believe that you do. Here's the thing. We can talk about creating our own system, but first we have to have an understanding and know how to successfully maneuver ourselves in what we currently have. Because talking doesn't garner power, right? And Dr. Claude Anderson made a very good point that I've always remembered. Regardless of how you feel, what you think, what your politics are, what your religion are, you were designated with a team, a skin color team, period. Right? That is the current world that we live in. And if everyone else has a skin color team and they play by their team's rules to reach levels of success, we think, well, we don't have to play by the our team's rules. We're going to go over here. We're going to hit the ball in the other team's goal. We're going to do our own thing. And then when we never end up winning, we always question, well, we're oppressed and we can't ever win. And it's white supremacy when we refuse to even work as a team and play as a team. So
But that's
you're
what I'm saying,
designated a
Chrissy.
skin color team, and we have
But
to operate within that team and
but that's
protect
the
the
problem.
team.
If you accept that designation, I get what you're saying, and I get Claude Anderson, but I think, Claude Anderson is a brilliant guy, he's much smarter than me, but I would push him to say he should come up with a stronger intellectual departure point. What do I mean by that? You can't just take, an outside definition as to who you are and think it's going to create a cohesion. Whiteness, understand this, right? Whiteness is created from the very tops. It's created from not the outskirts of society. It's created from the hegemonies, the metropoles of society, right? The philosophers and the elite men are the ones who came up with the concept of whiteness, right? It's birthed in this miscegenation caste systems that they try to make solid for all of us to have to follow. So what we have to do, I think, before we even go further, we have these color-based teams that we're on. We now have to go back to the drawing board to redefine these color-based teams for ourselves so we can accurately say who's a team player, who's a bench warmer, who's a spectator. Because remember, the Karens have their role, right? The superhero white boys have their role. The nerdy white boys have their role. The Elon Musk white boys have their role. Everyone has their role in whiteness. We haven't delineated our roles, and that's what I'm saying. So it's not just only, okay, cool, we're playing in a game of, high speed racial skin color basketball. Cool, we're thrown in it. Now we got to segment what are the team players and how are they going to look? Who's going to be the coaching? Who's going to be in charge of teams and operations? We have to go back to the drawing board to do that. So now we can come out and play like an organized team.
I understand what you're saying, but you still have to recognize that you're all part of a team. And once we identify that, then we can come up with what the code is. What is the code? And how we're able to punish or to reward those within our team, as every other group has the ability to do. So just saying that we're going to redefine our team and we have not garnered any power as a team doesn't make any sense. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. But at the end of the day, you have no power to change your condition. You don't have the level of power on an international level to drastically change the conditions of people who look like you. And part of the reason is because of how we see ourselves. We already do not see ourselves as a team. So it's not that we see ourselves as a team and we need to delineate who is such and such. Black people nowhere in the world work as a team. We don't, and that's why we continue to find ourselves in this condition. We have to start to understand that we are a team. And because we don't understand that, peoples are able to, have this one against that one and all that kind of stuff and pit us against each other, because we don't even recognize that he's pitting you against you, but he sees you all the same. You get treated all the same. So I think that we need to understand that that's the first step. We're all on the same boat. We're all one team, and we need to first understand that. Once we understand that, I think that's where the level of respect.
But that's what I'm trying to say,
you
Chrissy.
realize that this is a competition.
No, what
right?
I think
Race
what you're saying is, Chrissy, what you're trying to do, in my opinion, is you're saying, and you could be right, I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think anyone has a definitive answer. But in my opinion, I'm saying you're basically saying because there's an experience of trauma that there should be cohesion. Wait, melanin. Yeah, no, hold on. Forget melanin, because I don't want, I'm genetics cool. But remember, whiteness is a social construct, just like blackness, right? But what you're saying is that because we experience non-whiteness, there should be cohesion. And I'm saying in order for that to work the way you're saying, it can't just be reliant upon non-whiteness or blackness, as they say. It has to be. They gave us blackness. They gave us non-white status, right? We are the other. So we have to take that and create something out of it that says, this is how we recognize each other. The only thing we're using, if you really look at it, in my opinion, to recognize each other is shared oppression or shared of lack of access to whiteness. That's the only thing that joins us together. That's not real cohesion. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I hear what you're saying.
So just because we're suffering at the hands of whites doesn't mean we are a cohesive unit.
I understand, and I don't hang up the banger of sufferation, right? So yes, I know it is stated that race is a social construct. I beg to differ, because there are genetic differences. Doesn't mean that we're not all humans. There are genetic differences between races of people, right? So genetically, there's just like if you find bones, you can do carbon-14 dating and assume the race of that person. So yes, I understand how things get murky.
Chrissy, no,
you can.
Come on, Chrissy.
Carbon-14. Come on,
Chrissy. Carbon dating.
Yes, ma'am. She's correct.
No, hold on, Dennis. No, that's not true. Carbon dating itself is even problematic. Come on. It's not a definitive science. There's no way. Listen, Dennis, come on. Look, listen. You guys, we're all educated people here. Race is a construct. It's not real. Race is not real. It's made up.
I don't know if it's
okay.
Made up.
If that's the case, Chrissy, if that's the case,
I don't know.
Chrissy, if that's the case, then you would have to give me discourse from ancient people on racial difference. You don't have that until the 1500s in the Renaissance, and then it's solidified as a caste system where you look at the Portuguese, the purity of blood, and the Spaniards with the Reconquista, and then you start to see it with Britain and America with the miscegenation laws and the so-called issues of the mixing of nations. But there is no discourse on racial difference. That's not real.
I'm sorry, I have to go. I'm picking up my little ones, but I will continue to listen.
But we're going to go ahead and close out. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, Search for Uhuru. Peace.